turns out he wasn't a mime. I just had earplugs in.
Fair enough.
Hello and welcome to the Phil Shy podcast. I'm Peter Bell and with me as always the nice man in comedy, Paddy Linton.
Hello.
So how you been, Paddy? How's your week?
It's good. Took my cat for its MOT.
How'd that go?
Aye. Well, he cut his paw while I was trying to clean him. So he went in.
He cut his paw or did you cut his paw?
No, he cut his paw because he was freaking out.
Oh, right. Okay, what did he cut it on?
Because like the vet like is pure like you have to like make sure his ears are pure clean and like clean his wee tear stains and stuff. So like I'm just like trying to hold him down with like cotton buds, and then he just like scrambled and cut his paw.
What did he cut it on?
The chain in the bath.
Oh right, okay. Fucking hell.
Aye. It was a stressful time for Mayface, but he passed it.
Aye.
Just need to change your brake fluid, he'll be alright.
Aye.
How about you? How's your week?
Just to contextualise this, Gary, the cat, is the only cat I've ever met who just purrs when he's sitting there and nobody's touching him, nothing's happening to him.
Oh,
he's
he's the happiest wee guy ever.
Aye.
Unless you try to clean his ears.
I get that impression. My week, well, my sister was up on Thursday, went a wee bar crawl and then went and saw Blink, so that was class. Friday didn't do it. Saturday, my mum was like, "Oh, let's come round. I've got some Argentinian steak kebabs." I was like, "Oh, that'll be class."
Decent.
What she actually meant was, "Come round, do the gardening for me, and then I'll give you." And then Sunday was a lovely day. I would say Sunday was fantastic.
Sunday was a lovely day, wasn't it?
It was,
Aye,
yeah.
It was a good day.
My. Obviously, just because Newcastle beat Tottenham and nothing to do with any results in Scotland at all. So yeah, no, it was a very, very enjoyable weekend.
It was, wasn't it?
It was. Our plan for this was to jump straight into talking about transfer deadline day and all the stuff that happened in that. But then a story broke that we couldn't ignore. So I'll get this up here. A former Brazilian national team winger, Douglas Costa, has joined OnlyFans. The former Bayern Munich and Juve player has promised to make fans happy. After signing up to the platform. To be fair, he plays for Sydney FC in Australia.
Right.
So maybe he's just heard a fan shout, "Get fucked" at him, and he's gone, "All right then, fair enough." He's doing it literally.
What's he doing on his OnlyFans?
So,
Keepy ups or something?
Aye, it should be stated that OnlyFans isn't only for like sex stuff. You can do other shit on it. Yeah, you can tell I'm a fucking connoisseur of it. So there are other sportsmen on it, like Nick Kyrgios, the tennis player.
Aye.
Derek Chisora. Lily Allen, not a sportsman, but she's on it punting pictures of her feet, which is howling. Feet are bogging. I don't know if people are aware of
Some people are into it, mate.
I know, but they shouldn't be. Feet are rancid, man.
I know, but it'll be because it's Lily Allen's feet. Because like, if you're into feet, you could just Google feet. Because it's Lily Allen's feet, people are like, oh.
As Sandy Toksvik said, they're the frayed edges of the body. I want nothing to do with them, man, honestly.
Frayed edges.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to be using it to like
it's not going to be a shagging,
but it's funnier
thing
to think he's just going to be on there showing his ring piece, you know.
Just a big ring light on his ring piece. Oh man.
Oh yeah, but he's not the first player that would come to mind. Like when I think of sort of like a footballer joining OnlyFans. Although he's not the first player to come to mind if I was thinking about anything other than who is Douglas Costa. So, but if you were to think like a player throughout all history that would join OnlyFans, who would it be? And most of that you want to see them on OnlyFans,
right,
just that you could imagine them doing.
I don't know, George Best towards the end of his career, running out of dough.
just to get booze. I was thinking like Maradona, you just pay £5 a month to watch him do lines off a sex worker or something like that.
I would pay to watch that, to be fair.
Frank McAvenny.
Oh, he'd definitely be into it.
Although OnlyFans would probably say, we need to draw the line somewhere. Like, I'm trying to think of it anyway. Oh, Jordan Henderson, you know, he sold his morals for money. He might sell his whole, you know.
Aye.
Satire.
Satire. We qualify for a tax rebate now.
You said Giroud, but that's just because I think most
he's
people
just so handsome. I just fancy him.
I wouldn't mind watching Carlo Ancelotti at home watching football, but that's more Gogglebox and OnlyFans. Just as like one of his eyebrows are worth paying for alone.
Aye.
And then just to hear him like tactically analyse a football game, like him and who's the Leeds manager, Bielsa.
Right.
Because I just imagine that he sits at home in a wee cool box as well. Like, no, he's still got a couch.
Just sits in a cool box.
He's got 2 TVs,
Maybe
2
we should
videotape
start
players.
OnlyFans. That's what we're doing. We're doing our OnlyFans now. Subscribe. We're not doing Patreon. We're skipping that. We're going straight to OnlyFans.
And it's not going to be what
I'll
you
take
think.
my tap off. I don't care.
Yeah, he could do that. And I don't know what I'll do. I'll just, do that.
You can do people's spreadsheets for you. Do their tax returns.
Do their tax returns. Don't even do my own, man. I'm on PAYE. I do pay tax, just to make it clear. Right, we'll get on to some actually pre-prepared stuff. In fact, no, you did a bit of prep this week. Can you remember what it was?
No.
Your analysis of Manuel Pellegrini.
Oh, Manuel Pellegrini, he looks like every guy in a smoking area in a airport. Like, just yellow. See, when I was coming back from Germany, every person looked like Manuel Pellegrini, just like saggy yellow skin. That's when I was like, right, I need to stop smoking, man.
So Paddy sent me this. I think it was it Sunday? He maybe had a couple of drinks after the game or at the gig. And he was like, that's all my prep for the week done.
Yeah, that's all my prep. Do you know what? I nearly forgot it. It was the only thing I was bringing to the table. I was like, did I?
Right, so transfer deadline day, Sterling to Arsenal. Now, obviously, we thought, I've got fucking something in my eyes. Obviously, we thought last week he was going to go to Man United. That deal didn't happen. He looks like he's got, he has joined for Arsenal. They're only paying 100,000 of his 300,000 plus a week contract.
It's mad.
So Chelsea are still paying the lion's share of it. I think this is going to be done to take some of the pressure off Saka because he just plays all the time. I think it's a good depth option. If he's half the player he was at Man City, he'll come on, he'll get goals. He could play a Trossard role. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think he's going to be a starter for them, but he must know that anyway.
Coming off the bench.
Aye.
Like, he's still a great player. He's only 29.
Aye, exactly. Aye.
Like, it feels like he's way older because he's been about since he was like 14.
Yeah, and there's very little to lose from Arsenal's perspective.
Aye.
Like, you take him on loan. If it doesn't work, you've only paid a third of his wages anyway. If it does work, fucking brilliant, and maybe you can sign him on a permanent at the end of the season. So,
how can Chelsea afford all this?
Well,
like, they're paying $1 million a month for a player not to be there.
Play them. Aye. I reckon they're doing that for a few though, because one of the other transfer deadline day things was Broja on loan to Everton, despite the fact he's injured. Lol. Everton just continue to entertain us, and I imagine they're still paying the majority of his wages. I doubt Everton will be. So, and they brought in Sancho from Manchester United.
He'll be on a packet as well.
Because the one thing that Chelsea are lacking is wingers.
Aye.
Osimhen is just he's on the just out on the border, about to move to not on the border of the country, like he's bordering on a move to Galatasaray on loan.
Is he?
Yes.
That's mental.
So why didn't Chelsea just go out and get him on loan if that was an option? Obviously,
why did Arsenal not take him on loan as well?
I don't know. I think Napoli were obviously wanting to sell, and then the English transfer window closes a lot earlier than the Turkish one, which is why Anthony also might be going to Fenerbahce today.
Speaking of Napoli, Scotland's two centre mids are playing for Napoli now.
The fact that they looked at us in the Euros and went, yeah, we'll have some of that. They must be just strapped for cash or something like that, and that's why they're going, we'll bring in McTominay and Gilmore.
We'll get two Scottish centre mids.
Well, Lewis Ferguson's doing well. Maybe they looked at him and went, there's something in this.
It's mental, mate.
Aye. Also, who's it? It's Sarri. Sarri's their manager just now.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's... No, is it Conte? It is Conte.
No idea. Is it? Aye.
Aye, it is. It's Antonio Conte. He'll love a player like McTominay.
Aye.
McTominay will come back like a veteran after the war, after being under Antonio Conte, man. And Billy Gilmore will be like 3 times the size next time we see him. But yeah, I don't understand why, if Chelsea were going to go out and bring in Sancho, they've got hundreds of wingers, why didn't they just go loan Osimhen? Makes way more sense to me. The only thing I can think is if they're thinking about European minimum players from homegrown players and all that kind of stuff, maybe. But it just seems like a really stupid decision to me. But then again, most of Chelsea's decisions these days do. Aaron Ramsdale went to Southampton.
Yep.
Now, I get that he's a fan of Southampton, that's his club, but that is levels below where I think he should be playing.
Think so?
He shouldn't be in a relegation battle. He shouldn't. He's at least a top 10 goalkeeper. See, before Raya came into Arsenal, there was no doubting Ramsdale's ability. Like, until he made that move and displaced him in the team, nobody doubted his ability.
He's probably better than Onana.
I mean, he is better than Onana. Which is weird that we'll get onto that at the weekend, but United lost 3-0 and none of the goals were his fault, which is fucking bizarre. But
I don't know. Third maybe.
But
His position was terrible.
I'm just slightly disappointed for Ramsdale. I think he could do better than that. And Southampton are probably going to get relegated.
At least he'll be busy.
He will be busy. That might be enough to get him in England squad, especially with how Pickford's playing. So, and I reckon he'll, like his agent, will put a relegation release clause in there, so it'll be like £15 million if they go down, and then someone will buy him for that because he's easily worth that. Ugarte to United finally went through. If what we've seen at the weekend, he better be the best centre defensive midfielder in the world. And we know he isn't. So
how much was he? 40 million?
50.5.
Oof.
Yeah, so he's not cheap, but he is a very good player. He's only 22, 23. So he could be there for 10 years. And with how Casemiro is right now, they desperately need someone else. So
we'll talk about that later. I can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a United fan listening to this, I do apologise right now because a lot of it is talking about that game and it's not complimentary to you, as I'm sure you can imagine. Nketiah to Palace, we mentioned this a bit last week.
Yep.
It's a deal that suits everyone. Arsenal get £30 million, Nketiah will get more game time. Palace get another striker, and it freed up Edward, who can now go to Leicester City on loan, which is done as well. I like Nketiah, but I just don't think he's Arsenal level. Yeah, so I think he'll do well at Palace. I hope he does well because he's a good lad. So
he's a good lad.
Yeah, he's a good wee boy.
Always phones his mom.
He probably lives with her. It's no judgment, Eddie. Eddie, let home.
London rents, innit?
Exactly, London rent.
Even if you're a football player, you can only afford a one-bed flat.
I'm pretty sure he'd be paying for his boss gaff. Carlos Soler to West Ham. Any FIFA football manager fans will know this guy 'cause he's never quite lived up to his promise, but I think it's a really good signing from PSG. I think it's a loan, maybe option to buy.
Yep.
But he's a really good player, and he'll definitely make West Ham a better team. And for me, they've had the best window of any club.
They've had a class window.
Although they did make a strange decision to let James Ward-Prowse go on loan to Forest.
I don't know, because he's not that good a player. He's deadly with a set piece, but he's not that good a player.
I think he's a really solid, decent midfielder. And even if you're not going to play him from the start, maybe he's pressing to go because he wants to play. He wants to start every game under a vague hope that he might get back out of the England squad. He won't.
Yeah.
But I think having that off the bench option of someone that good at free kicks, that good at corners, that good at penalties, that's a real useful asset to just give away. But it's a great signing for Forest because I reckon it'll be brilliant for them. But I just think it's a strange one. It caught me off guard, that. But obviously, if he doesn't fit Lopetegui's style, and even though they lost at the weekend, I still think they look decent at times. So I think I'm not worried for West Ham. But it's a bit of a shame for him. So the transfer window as a whole picked up a bit at the end. Who do you think's had the best window?
I think West Ham. All the players have brought in. Somerville.
Yeah, Somerville, the Wan-Bissaka, he looked really good already. Who was some of the other? The centre half they brought in. Max Kilman, he looks really solid already. They've improved every position basically, apart from goalkeeper because they have Areola and Fabianski, so they don't really need to improve there. Areola is a good goalie, and Fabianski is a number 2 is pretty solid. You can't really argue with it. So yeah, I think they've had pretty good. What about the worst?
Newcastle United.
Who did you brought? I think you said one guy, didn't you?
Aye, but
who was it?
Don't know. No big name signings. They've been out though, so
yeah,
that's alright. But I feel like Newcastle needed to strengthen, especially a centre half.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think it might actually be West Ham, I think it's West Ham are going for Joel Matip because he's a free agent. And I don't know why Newcastle didn't just offer him 1 or 2 years.
I think they're just so scared of the financial fair play. But you have to look at what Chelsea are doing.
Aye.
I don't know. Maybe they'll just try and do it without breaking the rules so that they'll eventually become the top dog.
It doesn't sound like Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry.
Mate, they play with the rules, man.
Yeah, their own rules.
Their own rules that they make up.
Yeah, let's not go into that any further. Unfortunately, there was sad news over the weekend. The passing of Cardiff City legend Sol Bamba.
Hibs legend Sol Bamba.
Hibs legend, yeah. Played 46 times for the Ivory Coast. Was runner-up in the African Cup of Nations with him. Also played for Hibs, Leeds, Leicester. And all the tributes to him are just basically about what a lovely guy he was. So it's very sad. He was
That's
only
a shame.
39 years old. And I think you'll always have this, though, to his name, which is he might be the only player in history that's ever made the move from PSG to Dunfermline Athletic. So no one can ever take that away from
And nobody's played for both those clubs ever before. No, never again.
Yeah. That'll be in his claim. That'll get him into the Hall of Fame, mate. That'll be in there. Right, okay. So the biggest talk point of the past few weeks was not the fact that Blink-182 played Plus 44 and Boxcar Racer songs on Thursday night, which I had a moment at. No, it wasn't that. It was in the Arsenal game.
The Rice sending off?
Yeah. So we're not going to go into detail and talk about the game because it was a bit dull for most of it.
Aye.
Arsenal were all right. Brighton were all right. And if it wasn't for the sending off, Arsenal probably would have won. They looked a better team, but that's about it.
I think with the sending off being like playing 40 minutes with 10 men, you'd take a draw against Brighton because Brighton have started the season so well.
They're a good team, yeah. So I see at that point, as soon as send off happened, I was like, fine, 1-1, one will do. Like, it's not a big problem. But we need to talk about the sending off. Now, I'll say my piece on it, and I know people think I'm being biased here, but I'm going to quote people who have no affiliation to Arsenal. So, I mean, you can contest the fact that it was even a foul in the first place, right? So that's that one.
Yep.
Rice is walking away from Veltman. The ball is moving. He makes contact with the ball. Not massive contact with the ball. It's debatable whether he's intended to actually slow down the play there or not. Because usually when a team's under pressure, as Brighton were at that point in time, they don't want to take a quick free kick. They want to take their time and get everyone to push up the pitch so that they can get their shape again. Then, as I said, the ball is moving. It's in front of Rice. He makes contact with it. Micah Richards has come out and said that's your natural instinct when a ball's in front of you as a footballer and you're on the pitch. You will make contact with the ball. It's just something you do.
Aye.
And then Veltman volleys him in the knee, claiming that he was trying to take a quick free kick, which, one, he couldn't do because the ball was moving at the time. Two, there was no one, if you're looking from the other angle, as Micah Richards said, there's no one in space that he's aiming at, so there's no way.
He took his free hit, man.
Aye. And three, look at where the connection he makes with Rice. He has just gone to boot him. He's gone, I'm going to hurt him. That's what he's done. And the fact that Veltman doesn't get a red card for that is insane because it is violent conduct. He's just gone and kicked the guy. Now, whether Rice...
It could be argued that he was aiming for the ball and Rice moved the ball.
But the ball was already moving, so he couldn't take the free kick.
I know, but it could...
And every ex-pro I've heard talk about it go, he was not trying to take a free kick.
I know, he was miles away from the ball.
He's just got up and booted Rice. Now, whether you want to make the case of that, whether that's a second yellow or not, letter of the law could be. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to argue with that. Although a lot of people are saying if that's the second yellow for that, when João Pedro launched it 40 yards earlier in the game and got nothing, that's a bit ridiculous. But I mean, if you want to say that's a yellow card, fine, letter of law. What I don't understand is how he doesn't get a red card for just basically
or at least a book. Did he get booked?
I don't know exactly. I think he might have got a yellow, but I think that's a red. He's just kicked him in the knee with the ball's not there.
But again, it could be argued like if the ball was there, he wouldn't have kicked him in the knee.
But the ball was there.
He's seen an opportunity to kick somebody and he took
also,
it.
If the ball, even if the ball is there and he follows through that hard, you could argue that's endangering an opponent. Like if you can win a ball and get sent off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the whole thing was absolutely mental. Now I'm going to ask you what your opinion on it is, and I want you to put aside the fact that you love Pam and Beer. put aside
the fact
that you hate Arteta.
Yeah.
Just, what do you actually think should happen?
Nah, like I don't think
should Rice have been sent off?
I think it's either you send off both of them or you send off nobody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I would agree with that. I'm happy with that.
But like I think even the ref, he was like he didn't want to give.
He looked embarrassed.
He didn't want to give the second yellow, but he kind of had the rules. But like you said earlier in the game, João Pedro boots it for the halfway line into the tunnel.
Aye,
like
it's the consistency of decisions. It's all people want, and it's never what they get. But anyway, like I say, the rest of the game, they're not worth talking about. It was 1-1. Kai's goal was nice.
Yep.
His form seems to have continued, which is good. Probably why Arsenal didn't try and buy a striker. Because
He's probably the answer for you through the middle.
I know, which is mental. Bear in mind how poor he was at Chelsea for a long period.
It's Chelsea.
Yeah, that's true.
They always pay $80 million for cunts and then ruin them.
See if Sterling has a fucking
so good. If he scores like 25
season.
Goals.
Like, it would just be, we're just going to become this like recuperation centre for former Chelsea players, which is fine. I mean,
there's so many of them.
it didn't work with Elaine, I will accept, but he was a bit older at that point in time.
David Luiz, not so much.
I mean, I don't think there was any saving him. He was just a nut job. Anyway,
big sideshow.
It's now time for the return of the highly anticipated Pedro's quiz thing.
Pedro's quiz thing.
Yeah. That's where I read some facts about a Premier League player, a Premier League legend, I should say, and Paddy has to guess who I'm talking about. Honestly, the amount of messages we had about this asking for this back, it was insane. It was zero, but zero is an amount.
Zero is.
I'm going to go for it anyway. So, clue number 1, I was born in Amsterdam on the 10th of May 1969. If you get it from that, I'll give you the money myself. So please don't get it for that because I've got fuck all money.
Ruud van Nistelrooy.
No. I made 1969. I suppose might be a bit old, bit young for that. I made 315 appearances in the Premier League, scoring 87 goals.
So, Bergkamp.
You give it away. I want to make that clear that the lovely Paul, our producer, is the one that got that.
Yeah, mate.
So I'll go through the rest of the clues anyway, but it is Dennis Bergkamp, yeah. That's all right. It's all right.
I would have got there.
It was a lovely assist.
Cheers, mate.
He would have got it by the 6th clue anyway, honestly. I was raised in the era of total football, playing every outfield position whilst learning the game, remarking that playing a defender taught me how to beat them. I made 79 appearances for the Dutch national team, scoring 37 goals. Peter Schmeichel said that I played football like it was all a dream. You couldn't even imagine the things he was capable of doing with football. Henri described me as the best player he's ever played with. Henri played with Messi.
Aye.
And I played for
Arsene.
Ajax, Inter Milan and Arsenal, winning the Premier League 3 times, including the Invincible season. So yeah, it was Dennis
Big
Bergkamp.
Dennis.
One of the best players I've ever seen. Underrated, I would say, by a lot of people.
His goal against Newcastle was fucking mental.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't tend to score shanners. They were all like insane. Like, his ball control was just out of this world. If you're not familiar with Bergkamp, go watch his highlight reel because it's.
He could hardly run.
Yeah, the non-flying Dutchman.
He couldn't fly either. I mean, like, he couldn't get on a plane.
Yeah, the strange thing about it wasn't they couldn't fly unaided by machines.
He couldn't fly.
It was this pish. He's just like affected by gravity. Anyway, United versus Liverpool.
Yes.
It would seem Ten Hag is a fan of the pod because he listened and started Delict. Didn't help. Didn't help at all.
Because you've still got Casemiro in front of you.
It also wasn't Delict's fault, but Christ on a multitude of bikes. That was awful.
2 Christs on a tandem bike.
I don't know why that image has really tickled me, but it has. Apologies to Jesus if you're offended. They need the new centre defensive midfielder. Obviously, they've got one,
but like
Casemiro, Jesus, what's happened to him?
Like, has there been like a worse decline in any player that like being like the linchpin of that Real Madrid team for years, and then his first season at Man U was very good, and then just dropped right off, man.
It's so hard to like
so
pinpoint why as well, because like you said, when he first came in at United, he looked amazing. You know, he was scoring goals, he was doing all the defensive work, and obviously he doesn't have Modric and Kroos like he did at Real Madrid, which will help any player. But I thought it's
shambolic,
mind blowing because he's not like 35. I think he's 31, 32.
Is he?
Yeah, so he shouldn't have fallen away.
He's 39, man.
He's playing like he's 79. He's not playing like he's. I don't understand what's happened to him at all. Before we go into it any further, though, we need to talk about this vertical Nike tick on the Liverpool kits.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it.
I do. It's tremendously upsetting.
Is it? It makes me like. When I'm looking at it.
Speaking as an autistic football fan, like That's the wrong way around, and it's annoying. We don't like change.
The vertical night tick. Vertical night tick was weird.
Well, supposedly it's about raising awareness of like the women's game and stuff like that. But I don't think anyone. I had to Google that and find that out. Right, so no football fans looking at that going, "Oh, the WSL is marginally bigger than it was before." Like, no,
like
it's no helping.
What? That doesn't make any sense to raise awareness for the women's game.
Or like it's like a celebration of how the women's game's grown. It's like, do that by putting more of it on the telly.
I just put my money into it. Like, just put my money into the women's game. Don't do that. Or we moved the night tick run by 30 degrees.
And just listen to some of the Liverpool players try to justify it as a good idea because they're getting paid to. It's like,
are they?
Like I think it's Trent going, I like it and stuff like that.
Paid like a good 30% more than the women's was. So, probably well more actually.
That's very optimistic. Right, okay, so that can get the fuck. I don't like that. Stop doing things.
Stop doing things.
It's like you said.
I actually like that. I rate that Liverpool opener.
It's not a bad talk.
Kind of ruins it though, doesn't it?
Fix that. Like, I just kept wanting to go like. It's like before you like went to mass or something as a kid, your mum's straightening your tie. I've really nailed my cuff flag to the mast there.
Straighten that night
for the non-Catholics. When you used to go to church on a Sunday, like Protestants go to church.
Nah, they don't.
No. That's a weird line in the Santa draw there.
Let's get into it.
But it's like it reminded me of when you were talking about Everton, either last week or the week before, when you said they're just easy to play against. The Man U are so easy to play against.
So shy, man.
Like, and we saw it against Brighton, where I can't remember. It might have been Pedro who just bullied his way through that midfield.
Yeah.
And it happened again with Gravenberch at the start of this game. It was the offside goal. He just tanks past Manu, and then the gap between midfield and defence is so big. He's got so much space to run into. Like, if you look at Liverpool anytime they're playing it, and it is because they played the pressing system, but their midfield is very. I just realised I was doing Trump hands there. Midfield is very close to you.
Fantastic midfield.
It's a beautiful midfield.
It's absolutely perfect.
I'm going to get this midfield and I'm going to make Manchester United pay for it. Yeah. So they've got three players very close together. Their midfield stays together so they can play the short pass in football, and also so that if they try to trigger a press, all three of them can converge at the one time.
And they rotate all the time.
Yeah, they change position, but they're always within a very small distance of each other. And Man U, and obviously with Liverpool, their whole team pushes up or their whole team drops back. There's not just the defence don't stay where they are as the rest of the team goes forward, leaving a massive gap for people to exploit. Man U, they don't seem to have any kind of organisation because the spaces were huge.
Rashford and Garnacho are just fucking about.
Don't do it.
Just fucking about.
Don't do it. For that goal, right, you can see Trent is really far up on the right hand side. Rashford hasn't come back at all with him. So he's got an overload there. He's completely unmarked at the back. I think for one of the goals, possibly that one, it might have been one of the ones that actually counted. As the ball's played out to, it was one of the later goals. As the ball's played out to Salah, right on the edge of the Man United box, Rashford's in his own half. In the opposition half. Yeah, like
in an offside position.
And United weren't going to break at any point.
Nah.
So what's he doing? Like, it would just be pissing me off. And obviously, if you give someone like Alexander-Arnold or Robertson on our side space, they can hurt you. And it was fortunate that first goal got chalked off because I don't really think, Salah was offside. He did take a touch.
One of the weird ones, like we were saying, where it's no advantage gained. But
you can maybe say it changes the defender's mind and he might have. But the odds of the Manchester United player actually clearing it and not just putting it into his own net, that's. I don't know how useful him being there would have been. The space they just leave open, the amount of time they give their opposition, and you compare that to the way Liverpool play, so in your face, so quick, let's get the ball forward.
Even when they gave the ball away though, they just Like, they don't press, they just like drop off. That's what happened to the first goal. Casemiro gives the ball away and then he just drops off. Doesn't he pick anybody up and then makes a pure feeble attempt at a challenge?
Aye.
And then they've got 2 players at the back post unmarked again.
Aye, but that's the thing. And we said this during the Brighton game, how many players they can have in the box and still not be marking anybody. Yeah. And like you say, like we were saying with the wingers not coming back, half the time the midfield are just ambling back. Do you remember when Arsenal were in a really poor bit? I think it was tail end of Wenger or some point during Unai Emery, and Gary Neville's yelling "run" at them because they were just walking about the pitch, and he was getting really angry. They were just ambling about. That's what it reminded me of watching United. They just like, there's no effort.
Yeah,
which says a couple of things to me. It says either they're not being coached properly, because the wingers aren't tracking the runners, or they don't respect the manager because he is telling them to do it and they're just not.
That's probably a bit of both.
Either way, that's not good news for Eric Ten Hag, and it's not good for me. So, my sister's a United fan. I'm so sorry, Hen.
It's so funny. Man.
Yeah, I think Shaw tried to make up for a lot of the inadequacies of the rest of midfield. Rest of his defence at the start of the game, but then just gave up on it.
Yeah.
Dallo was the only one again, really, who tried to give it his all throughout the entire game. But he's got both Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold to deal with himself. Like, Cafu would struggle with that, you know.
One of the biggest things about them as well, they've got Bruno Fernandes playing through the middle up front. Like, he's the only player in the midfield that actually gives you, like, effort.
Didn't
like, as much
Xerxes
as
start?
he's a wank.
Didn't Xerxes start?
No, well, he did actually, But you'd want Bruno Fernandes deeper.
It's the kind of game you'd expect him to turn up in as well.
Aye.
It's at home against your big rivals. This is a time for you to like step up and show. Is he still got the captain's armband? Is he still the captain?
Yes.
Aye. That's the games you need your captain to step up in and like show what he's made of and put a marker down for the rest of the team.
Hit somebody. Like, do something.
Aye. I mean, that is true. Just run. Just move a little bit. Show that you give a damn, you know. Yeah, we've talked about the lack of tracking back. Anything else I want to say about that before I move on to the next bit? Yeah, so the press that Liverpool put on was obviously really good, but Man U's passing was loose as fuck as well. Like,
Aye.
There's sorry, Man U fans, there's literally nothing redeemable coming from this analysis. Anytime Liverpool went forward, Man U just ambled back, and there was always 4 or 5 Liverpool players for like 3 Man U players.
Yeah.
The amount of times they had either equal numbers or more numbers.
3,
aye. It's just like that. Obviously, it's a debate to be had whether that's lazy players or bad coaching, but the buck ultimately has to stop with the manager there, surely.
Aye.
Like, especially, he's obviously we had this joking debate with Kai at the end of the Euros preview, where he's going, you know, Arteta finished like 7th and 8th when he's first started, so why would you not give Ten Hag a bit more time? Well, Ten Hag's a more experienced coach, you know. He's won league titles before at Ajax. That wasn't his first job. This isn't his first job.
I don't think it's just the manager, and I think it's the whole club. The whole club's fucked.
Well, they're trying to bring in football people. Dan Ashworth's obviously come in. I think that is a good idea.
But it's going to take loads of time.
Yeah.
And that will probably be like 2 or 3 managers before they get back.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
even
know.
challenging for titles.
I don't know who they can bring in that might be able to turn it around quickly, other than Pep or Klopp, you know.
Imagine Pep was like, I fancy a challenge.
Aye.
No, like when you've been dominating Football Manager for ages and you're like, fuck it, man, I'm going Bottom Albion.
Aye. You put FIFA Legend. What's the top one now? Is it Legendary or is it World Class?
Ultimate or something, I don't know.
Aye. I can tell I've not played in a while. What was the Liverpool? Oh, the Liverpool's first goal was Diaz's header, wasn't it?
Yep, yeah, as he said.
That's a great wee header from him. He shouldn't be able to win it, but like we were saying,
the only person he was challenging for it was Szoboszlai.
Who ducked out the way
because
he didn't want to piss off a Colombian. Although he's Hungarian, I probably wouldn't want to piss off him either. But the defending didn't have to make that easy. Like you say, they're both of them unmarked at the back post. It's a good ball in from Salah, and it's a great header from him. But like, he's a winger. Somebody should be melting them at the road at that point in time. Like,
somebody should. He's like 5'9" as well. Like.
Do you know what it is? It's like watching school kids. Not that I do that. Play football.
You definitely just crashed yourself in.
Sunday league or something like that.
Catholic.
No anymore. Recovering Catholic. That way that they all chase the ball.
Aye. They're all looking at the ball as well. They don't look at their shoulders.
Aye. Nobody has any awareness about where anyone else is on the football pitch. And
although if you're playing for a Catholic football team, you're always looking at your always looking over both shoulders, mate.
It's fine. If the coach didn't, he'd just get moved to a different team.
Yeah, that's it.
Second goal, was a bit better defensive shape at the start, because most of them are on the edge of their box. There's a vague system. There's not that big a gap. But then they try and break out with Casemiro, and he just gets bullied off the ball. I feel
Luis Diaz, who's like half the size of him.
I know.
Like, shambolic.
Aye. And then from there, it's so easy. Right? It's like 2 passes, and then it's a goal.
Salah, and then
back to him.
Yes.
Like, no real attempts to try and stop it. It's like you said again. It's just so easy to play against. And if your big boss centre defensive midfielder is getting bullied off the ball by like Luis Diaz, you have a real problem there.
A tiny Colombian.
I mean, he's 5'10", so he's no.
Is he 5'10"?
He's not that.
Still small compared to him though.
Aye,
the guy's an absolute unit.
But it's just the amount of players Liverpool have forward. Obviously, again, this is to do with the way they play their pressing football. But the United just seem when they got the ball and when it's with Casemiro, the forward players and their further ahead midfielders just assume that it's going to go their way, and they all just push up the pitch. And then when it doesn't, they don't make any effort to get back and try and fix the situation. I think that you saw it in particular contrast to Man City the weekend when Haaland was chasing back to try and win the ball. Or in a particular game in Scotland where a little Japanese fella did exactly the same thing.
A wee Japanese fella?
Yeah. I'm trying not to give anything away. Celtic. It was Kyogo. But yeah, so like you see that, the difference between teams that are like a together, a coached unit, all that kind of stuff, who really want nothing more than to bring success to their club. They will do the hard work as well. And that has to be, obviously it has to be coached into you, but it has to be something you as a player going, no, I want to do this, I want to believe in this. And Man U just don't have that at the moment. Yeah. Even Kobe Mainoo, who you'd think, like, just broke out of the team, like born and bred Man United fan. You'd think the one thing he'd do is like bleed for the shirt. And obviously he's been good in general, but he was dog shit on Sunday. Sorry, Kobe, you're only a wee boy. Shouldn't
a wee guy.
Shouldn't be bullying you that much. But it was him that got out-muscled by McAllister for the third goal as well.
I think the keeper's a wee bit to blame for the third goal as well. He leaves so much space at his near post. He's all over the place. Yeah. Like, that was a good finish.
That was a trait of Sunday, shall we say.
Aye, exactly.
But no, I can kind of see that. But then again, I think you've got to credit Salah with the finish as well.
Oh, aye, it's a class finish, but like there shouldn't be that much space at your near post.
I think at that point, they did end up like 3-on-3 as well there.
4-on-3 it was. Szoboszlai had fucking so many options.
And Salah's just completely unmarked. Even if you're gonna not track back with the winger, with the fullbacks when they come forward, stick someone on Salah.
The worst part of it is after that goal, 30 seconds later, Martinez gives the ball away with a pure slack pass, and Salah ends up like through. He ended up going back and skinning half the defence again, and then hitting the other bar. But it could have been 2 goals in like 30 odd seconds, which would have been, the place would have emptied, man.
I mean, it
did empty not long after that, but anyway.
We should have a quick word on Salah. Him and Diaz, to be fair, both started this season.
Captained him in my fantasy football, mate. Updated my team this week. Plenty of points.
Well done. Him and Diaz have both had a really good start of the season, but he's got 3 goals, 3 assists. Not Haaland numbers, but still very impressive. During his time at Liverpool, he's played 352 games, scored 214 goals, got 92 assists. 160 of those goals are in the Premier League. Like, he's won everything bar, I think, the Europa League with Liverpool. He's just... You run out of words to describe him. Like, if it wasn't for Holland in the league right now, we'd all just be ranting and raving about how good Salah is.
Aye.
I was trying to think, like...
Again, he played for Chelsea.
Yeah. It got good after he left. Oh, do you know what else did that? Kevin De Bruyne. There's a running theme here.
Fucking Arjen Robben. Robben did all right.
Robben was good at Chelsea. Let's not funny about that. I try to think, like... I think Salah still gets downplayed because we have this sort of glistening view of what the 90s and noughties and all that kind of time was. And I do think footballers, generally speaking, were better then. I think they were a higher calibre. But it's hard to think of many better right wingers in Premier League history than Mo Salah. The only one I could maybe make a case for getting in the all-time team over him would be Cristiano Ronaldo.
Aye.
It's not a clear-cut thing, that, as well. I wouldn't say it's as...
For what they did in the Premier League, I'd say it's Salah.
Oh, Ronaldo probably won more Premier Leagues.
Aye, but... So?
Aye. Fuck you, Ronaldo.
But so?
It's only a matter of time before he has OnlyFans. It's just a video of him wanking over a mirror.
Over the mirror? Or no, into the mirror?
Like over his reflection.
All right.
I mean, he might be wanking over a mirror. I don't know. He could be suspended above it for all I know.
like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving on. Yeah, this could be Salah's last season.
Well, apparently they opened contract talks.
The way he was talking at the weekend sounded to me like
said,
he was,
let's have fun, whatever.
It sounded like he was maybe thinking about shooting off. Sounded like he's shooting off. I shouldn't have said that directly after that Ronaldo chat.
He's shooting off all over the place.
So if he does go, that could fuel him to be like, right, let's make this last season a belter. Like, as we said before, Saudi's probably very tempted to him, money wise. You know, he's a Muslim, so it all adds up for him. And I don't think Egypt and Saudi Arabia have any sort of global issues at the moment. So I think he'll be all right there. If he does go, where would he even rank in the Liverpool all-time greats? Because he can be too... Obviously, Kenny Dalglish is like the...
He's the goat, isn't he?
Aye.
Ian Rush. He's somewhere between Ian Rush and Kenny Dalglish.
Where's Phil Babineau?
Oh, mate. R.I.P. his testicles, man.
No, that's Oscar Bob.
No,
I know.
I'm
referencing our own podcast now, Paddy. That's where I'm at. United, for their own part, they created a couple of chances, but nothing like major.
Alisson made a couple of class
saves,
man.
Xerxes, the
one
header
that came through Van Dijk's legs, where he like shut his legs, and it was a slight deflection. That was a great save as well.
I mean, aside from that, Xerxes had a header, Alisson saved it. And then their next best chance, I think, was like, it was their centre back doing an overhead kick.
Oh, aye, Martinez.
Aye.
It was a decent effort, by the way.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but like all like that defenders from that kind of region in South America, they can all play ball. Like, they've all got the ability. Just look at Romero charging forward every 2 seconds.
Man, just having a dig.
But after those, like that little flurry of chances United have, Liverpool just went back to controlling the game and created a couple more chances themselves. This could have been a lot more like worse for United than a 3-0.
Did you see the images of Chiesa in the stands?
Aye.
He looked terrified. He was sitting like this.
Just Souness behind him or something.
Aye,
like
just shiting himself, man.
I don't know. I'm not good at reading faces, Patrick.
Ah, true. Well, who's been flirtatious?
No, that's aggression. Remember, it's aggression. If you don't get that, you'll need to come and see me to stand up. Although, having said all this, in Slated United, Ten Hag did say up until the 30-minute mark, it was an equal game. So, you know.
Souness said the same thing.
Maybe.
Maybe. Like, you look at the stats, it was like, no, it wasn't he?
Maybe we're wrong. Or maybe United just need all games to be cut down to a third of their actual time, and then they might get a draw. So
no knows.
I mean, come on, Ten Hag. You're absolutely deluded if you think you were anything other than second best in every department for all of that football match. Honestly, it's Liverpool look really good. It'll be interesting to see how they do against City or Arsenal, because Ipswich, not the biggest challenge in the world. Man United appear not to be the biggest challenge in the world right now either. So when they come up against either Arsenal or City, that'll be an interesting challenge to see how they get on with that.
I know they look good. Like, they've got a chance of challenging again.
They're still playing very much Klopp's way.
Well, I don't know. The thingy defensively, they look a lot better.
They do.
They don't seem as gung ho. Like they don't like. Yeah, it's the midfield and the front three that do all the work. Yeah. Like the fullbacks don't bomb as much. They're trying
to move to a more possession based game, and I think it'll be interesting to see how that actually manifests on the pitch over the course of the season. Yeah. Because I mean, when you see them doing that press and stuff, and you see the fullbacks getting forward, you do think this is still very much a Klopp team. And obviously, he's only been able to sign like 2 players so far. In fact, we didn't mention that the Georgian goalkeeper, Mamarabishvili.
Well played. He's Mamarabishvili.
So they've signed him. He's back on loan at Valencia though. So
I don't see it. I don't get it.
Alisson must be leaving.
Aye, must be.
He's a hell of a replacement to have lined up.
Aye.
So I mean, that's annoying. Just sorted. The only other thing I noticed from this game, or watching the highlights in Match of the Day 2, Lampard's getting a wee baldy patch at the back of his seat.
Aye, did you remember during the Euros where Gary Lineker slagged him?
No, I don't remember.
Oh mate, it became a whole thing. Mate, this was a meme. Like Gary Lineker was like saying, "Oh, like nobody wants to see the back of your head, especially these days, Frank." But in fact, Lampard's face, he's like laughing and he's like raging. And it became a whole thing. Like Lineker had to issue an apology on Twitter and stuff.
Mate, Frank, you're a handsome rich guy. Just go to Turkey, get it sorted, or invest in a Yamulka. That's what I'd be doing,
man. Yeah. I'd be doing that.
What, buying a Yamulka?
Oh no!
Go to Turkey. Get it sorted.
We go to Turkey.
Aye, mate.
Don't mean to say oh no with such fervour there.
No. I won't be allowed in mass again.
Converted Judaism. I do love a bargain, mind you. So.
Can we put that in? Can we keep that in?
I don't know, mate.
Oh, fucking hell. Speaking of car crashes, Everton versus Bournemouth.
Yep.
Everton are shit, aren't they?
Yeah, mate.
We say that at the start of every pod, it seems these days, mate.
Fucking hilarious. They, 2-0 up in the 87th minute. There's a record for it's the only time a team that's been winning 2-0 in the 87th minute has went on to lose the game in Premier League history.
It's mind blowing because they were playing quite well for most of the game. McNeil, Harrison, and Dye, they all looked really bright. Bournemouth looked completely blunt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't credit Everton's defence with any of it. It just didn't look like Bournemouth were going to try and create anything. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but could it be that Bournemouth conceded 2 goals because Kepa was in goal?
I can't believe he's playing for Bournemouth.
The world's most expensive goolkeeper, ladies and gentlemen.
Plays for Bournemouth.
In goal for Bournemouth. I mean, you don't need to say Bournemouth with that much venom.
But like, they played our home games in like a shed.
Was it I almost called it Dean Court. I don't think it's been called that in years. The Vitality. That might be the smallest.
It's the smallest in the Premier League. Ipswich Stadium is way bigger.
Oh, aye, Portman Road. Is that still what that's called? I don't know.
That'll probably.
All my names of football stadiums are from like 1995 to 2005. I'm still calling like the King Power the Walkers Stadium, and all that kind of stuff. It's just mad to think that he's there now. And that goes some way to explaining Kepa being in goal, how Michael Keane managed to score.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was a good strike from Keane on the volley. It's the most useful thing he's done all season in an Everton shirt, because he certainly hasn't fucking defended at any point.
I know.
Like Seamus Coleman as well, the legend that he is.
Where is he, man?
35.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he'd be way older than that.
No. I mean,
was it with Everton pure ancient fullbacks?
Yeah, I know. He had a chance to make it. He had a chance to make it 2-0 as well in this game, and he only just missed it. But I think like he was part of outside the top six, the best full-back partnership I've seen in the league by him and Leighton Baines.
Oh, remember that?
Aye, like just
Baines free kicks, man.
Yeah, he was a superb like set piece taker, and Coleman just ran for days. They were brilliant together, and I actually kind of feel sorry for Coleman because like he's better than this.
Aye.
He doesn't deserve this. Man. Like, honestly,
because he could have. There was a point where he was arguably the best right back in the league.
Yeah,
and like he could have probably went anywhere.
And he 100%. Yeah. He was brilliant, and he's 35 now.
Now he's playing second fiddle to Ashley Young. It's like birds are shitting in his mouth. Seagulls. Seagulls.
I thought he's starting an OnlyFans.
That's the premium. That's a gold package.
One cop and going, that gives me an idea.
It's a gold package.
Brown package, surely. Because of the poo.
The poo.
I don't want to say shit. I don't know why. But yeah, mate, he's 35. He gets injured quite a lot. Just retire. Mate, you're better than this. Or go back to, was it Sligo Rovers he came from? In Ireland, yeah. I think it was like £30,000 or £300,000.
Oh, I was famously dead cheap, wasn't he?
And he turned out to, like you say, one of the best right backs in the league. So just retire, mate. Yeah, I'm sure you've got enough cash.
Put yourself through this.
Yeah, there's no need. Don't let them ruin your reputation because they're shite and they will get relegated this season. Calvert-Lewin's goal was decent though, didn't he? So the wee dink
the build
finish
up was good.
Like the way they were celebrating the goals. Obviously, you celebrate a goal, but I was like, you guys are way too confident in this. Like, obviously, I knew what was going to happen.
Aye.
But see, watching that, I was
kind of
like,
funny to watch, though, knowing what was about to happen.
Like, you're forgetting the past 2 games you've just played, you know?
Do you know, it would have been funny, the match of the day editor probably had a lot of last minute work to do because they would have had that game like second last.
Well,
up until the last 5 minutes.
Think about all the journalists like writing their match report because they usually stop. They usually stop like paying attention and start typing up about 85. I mean, they'll do it a bit later now because the amount of added time. But they would have been like, right,
it's a guy sitting with their fingers in the delete key, like,
fuck.
Oh, amazing, astonishing comeback to draw 2 each. Delete.
All those Red Dice Redemption articles or whatever they've been like, that fucked it. They've lost again. It wasn't really until that bit of RJ Bargy with Semenyo and Keane that seemed to wake Bournemouth up.
Sometimes you need a bit of that.
I've also just thought about RJ Bargy and I'm slightly worried that's like come from like the Falklands or something like that.
Is it?
I don't know, but
maybe it
must be older than that, surely.
Maybe Maradona had a wee canal boat.
I don't. There's the title of this episode. And that's on his OnlyFans as well. He just tours around the canals, taking gear off the top.
Aye, man.
Shouting at people.
He's tap-off eating a hot dog.
Rest in peace. One of the greatest footballers of all time.
Being reduced to a pun.
But yeah, until that sort of argument between the two of them, Bournemouth didn't look in it. That woke them up.
Yeah.
Sinestra came on, which made a difference as well. And then Kluivert seemed to channel his like some of his ability because he was just outstanding for the last like 10 minutes of that match.
Tavernier didn't channel his brother.
No.
Started whipping some decent balls in.
At least it wasn't a disappointing weekend for one of them. But no, Kluivert was brilliant, causing all kind of problems, whipping balls in. And it was it Ouattara gives it out to, gets the cross in, and Semenyo, the guy that was involved in the incident,
when he started
gets
scrapping.
the goal.
I liked him scrapping Keane though, like just like grabbing him.
Come ahead.
Square goal.
And see at that point, like the whole atmosphere shifted.
As soon as the first goal went in, they just shit the bed.
They didn't just shit the bed. They shit every bed in the house and a couple of their neighbours' beds. To say that was shit in the bed is an understatement.
Shit the garden. Shit the garden.
I'd rather shit the garden than my bed.
True.
Right in, what would you rather shit? Again, like, from that point, Bournemouth just looks so much better. Is the age of Everton's defence a problem? Because obviously Ashley Young normally plays and he's 39. Yeah. The two centre mids are both in their 30s. Seamus Coleman's 35. Mikolenko was playing, he's 25, but like he can't cover for the rest of them. And the defensive midfielder in front of them is Idrissa Gana Gueye, who must be 34 or 35 himself.
I think just having a static 4-4-2 in this day and age is just unforgivable,
no,
man.
You
like,
just don't, I mean,
like,
you've made your opinion on Dyche.
I know, but it's been universally like trumped. Nobody plays it anymore.
Yeah.
Because you just put like a 4-5-1 or a 4-3-3 and it just like swamps the midfield and back four.
Yeah, and if you're going to have that, you have to have defenders that can win headers.
Aye.
And
mate, it was quite a lot of like headers scored over the weekend.
Yeah.
Which is nice to see.
Aye.
Because teams really like whip a ball in now. And it's like teams can't defend it anymore because they're so no used to it.
Aye, but the one team you'd think would be a Sean Dyche team. Well, like Tarkowski in his back four, but it was just mental. Like we said about United, the amount of times Everton ended up in like 3-3-3s defending. Yeah. So this was 2-1, they're 2-1 up. This for the second Bournemouth goal. Everton have committed so many players forward. They've got overlapping full backs, committing so many players forward. Why? Defend the 2-1 lead.
Nah, no.
The atmosphere's changed. Just hold on to that lead. And Bournemouth win the ball, break, and then they end up 3v3 versus the defence.
Yeah.
And they score. Like,
and then Pickford made a couple of good saves after that before the third went in.
Aye, he did. I mean, it could have been even more embarrassing. It's weird to think about a game where a team are winning 2-0 to the 87th minute and they can leave feeling they got lucky they didn't lose 4-2. That's just insane. It's just insane. We'll move on from the Everton game because as fun as it is to bash them, at some point, like, you've just got to stop punching a corpse. You know? At some point. Don't start. Probably that's the idea. Man City, West Ham, we'll do a quick word on this. As Benjamin Franklin once said, there are three certainties in life: death, taxes, and Erling Haaland. He was a visionary, old Benny, but another hat-trick. It's insane. I'd like...
Guy's phenomenal, man.
He's a machine. Absolute machine. I think he's... what's that, 71 goals in 70 Premier League games or something like that now. And since joining Man City in August 2022, Everton have scored 90 goals. Erling Haaland has scored 94.
What is it? Since 2015, just go back to Liverpool, Man U. I forgot about this. Salah's the third top scorer at Old Trafford,
including Ronaldo.
Goals, including Ronaldo and Rashford. Everybody.
That's insane. Just an extra wee dig. You thought you were safe, United fans, but we were not done with it.
Reminded.
Haaland was just incredible. 3 very different goals as well. Like the first one sends keeper the wrong way, bends it into the other corner. Second one pings it right into the top bins. When West Ham have like 3 defenders directly in front of him as well.
He just smashes it.
Finds the space.
It's one of the ones though, as soon as he gets that touch on it, as soon as he gets it under control, he's scoring.
Aye.
Like in the form that he's in.
Aye, you can't stop him. Well, Joe Hart said that in the thing, like, what can you do as a goalkeeper to try and stop him? And they just went, nothing really. You can try and cut down his options, but he'll find
he'll score.
He'll still do it. And then the third one, obviously, he dinks it over the goalkeeper. It's like,
again,
you can do anything.
That's a third dink he scored this season already.
And the thing is with West Ham, like, obviously they had a lot of people back in the box for the second goal, but the first and the third goal, big gaps between the centre halves, huge gaps, which is basically just a big arrow to him. Make the run, because Bernardo Silva or Kevin De Bruyne they'll find you, like, no bother whatsoever. And then with the third goal, again, hundreds of space, they're high up. He's too quick. He'll get in behind, he'll score. So, yeah, Man City are looking annoyingly good.
Yep.
But the best part for this game for me was on Match of the Day, the commentator, when the camera pans round to Noel Gallagher and says, the last time Oasis played a gig, Manchester City weren't very good. Great wee dig. There's absolutely no need, but it was a great wee dig, and I appreciated it. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Because I don't really have time to waste. The Newcastle won.
Yes, mate. Massive one as well. Didn't they play well?
Played all right, I actually thought.
Spurs outplayed them, man.
For a large part
of the game. I watched most of it, and Spurs were by far the better
Pope
team.
made a couple of really big saves, and but I like Barnes getting on and scoring. He's a good player.
Dan Burns, OG, man.
I know. I I don't know.
Mate, it looked like Haaland finished. Pure blasted it.
But I really like the look of Gordon and Barnes playing together on the wings.
Aye, Isak was good.
Yeah.
The through ball figure, no, was it Joe Linton that put the ball through?
Aye, for Murphy.
Triggered,
to tee up Isak. And thank you for doing that, because Isak was in my team and you aren't, obviously. Because who's got Jacob Murphy?
Nah, nobody's got Jacob Murphy.
Right, okay. I would probably just wrap it up there. We could talk a bit more, but we don't have time. I've got a show to go to, and you've got a show to work at. So, and you're all dressed up nice for it as well. I didn't even comment that earlier. It's a lovely shirt.
Charity shop, mate.
There you go, kids. Top tip.
Charity shop.
Shop charity.
You'll see it on my OnlyFans. You'll see it. That's what will be doing, just by getting bargains in a charity shop.
And on that note, we'll put a link to Paddy's OnlyFans in the description of the episode. On that note, it's goodbye from Paddy.
Cheerio.
Goodbye from me. Stay fresh, cheese bags.